Hey, what's up, people? I see that you have made it back to the channel. Since you are back, that must mean that you are enjoying the content. And if that is the case, hit that subscribe button and punch that bell for notifications for when I drop my new videos, which should be on a weekly basis. Okay, so today's topic hits very close to home. I saw a writer post on Facebook about signing a contract for a project that they are currently working on that a company wants to get a hold of. And this just definitely gave me the inspiration for this video because it's something that is very personal for me, okay? We're about to get into it right now. So, I'm just gonna hit you guys with a few stories of things that happened to me during my writing journey. Well, in and outside of my writing journey, when I signed a few bad, really horrible contracts during my career. Okay, so hopefully these stories help steer you guys away from making these same mistakes and allow you guys to gain knowledge so you don't fall for the same crap that I fell for when I signed these horrific contracts. So I don't want to take up too much of your time, but the first story happened when I was a music manager. Okay, yes, I was a music manager at one point in the mid 2000s. I managed a hip hop group from my city. All right. There was a guy that was browsing the group's music on YouTube. They had thousands of views at the time. We were doing pretty okay. So the guy came across us. He hit me up and he said, "Hey, I want to represent your group. I want to take you guys on tour. I want to blow you guys up, essentially." So me being young and dumb, I said, why not? So we got to talking and, he painted a picture for us that was crazy and that was just a picture that we could not turn down, okay, if that makes any sense. Especially since we were all in the struggle at the time, okay? So I did do a little research on this guy. He said he was from Slip and Slide Records at the time, which was a popular record label out of Florida. And I went on his Facebook and his Instagram pages, and he had a number of different pictures with a ton of famous people, okay, which I'll talk about in a minute as well. So since he had those pictures with the famous people, me being young and dumb, I said, well, this guy must be telling the truth, okay? So he was like, I got the contracts. Let's meet up. Let's get you guys signed. Let's start this process. So we actually ended up meeting at a Denny's restaurant of all places. It was me, the group, and this guy who swore that he was an A&R for Slip and Slide Records, okay? He brought the contracts, and we signed the contracts and we took photos and everybody was excited, right? Everybody thought that this was the big way out of the hood. They thought that this was the ticket. They thought that this was going to be a big payday, okay? Because he was selling us a dream. And unfortunately, we bought it. So we signed these contracts. This guy said, well, our first tour is going to be in Ohio. Of all places, I don't know why Ohio. I mean, we were in Michigan, so I guess it kind of made some sense. So anyways, we got our stuff together. We raised this money that this guy said we had to pay to put towards the music to be produced and other things that we needed. He needed to package the group to sell to the label. There was just a bunch of stuff that sounded good that made absolutely no sense, but I did not know that didn't make any sense at the time. But anyways, we paid this money. I think it was like $3,000 to $5,000, something ridiculous like that. So he took us on this tour. There was one point in time where we went to one location that was ran by the Black Panthers. He did a secret knock on the door and everything. They had guns. It was crazy, you guys. So we performed, or the group performed that night at that place, and only like 30 people showed up, and they were all old. It was like they were performing for a group home of older people, which was, it was weird. Okay. So there was that one. And then there was like a park cookout thing that we went to. It looks like it was something that was already planned to be thrown. It wasn't something for the group, but he made it seem like it was for the group. And the group walked around and he was like, yeah, this is the next big group and yada, yada, yada. They were signing autographs, and this guy was selling us the dream throughout the entire trip. Okay. So it came to the day to where we were supposed to meet another person from Slip and Slide Records. And this guy was nowhere to be found. Calling his phone. And let me remind you, we paid him all of the money that he said we needed for this whole thing to happen. And he just ghosted us. His number went blank. It was like out of service. I couldn't find his profiles anymore. This guy just completely ghosted us. Okay. And the sad part about this is he said that he was working with 15 other groups at the time. So you do the math on that. He collected $3,000 to $5,000 from 15 other artists or 15 other groups, including us. This man was ripping people off left and right and getting a hefty payday from it. So my advice from this situation that I would want to pass on to you guys is that don't believe everything that you hear. Don't let somebody sell you a dream. If somebody is presenting you with contracts, get legal representation to look over those contracts. And normally, if it's too good to be true, if it sounds too good to be true, then it probably is too good to be true. So follow your gut. Do your homework, do your research. Don't just sign any and everything, okay? And don't let nobody pressure you into signing anything, all right? Now, this second story actually happened while I was a writer, and it had something to do with a project that I wrote, okay? This was very recent, like last year. I know, right? You would think I learned my lesson, but I guess not. So there was a script that I wrote. It was a love story. It was for a feature film that I wrote. I developed the characters, developed the whole plot, everything for this, wrote the script, got it done. And I decided that I was going to move forward with producing this project because I had already produced 2 other feature films in the past. So I definitely had faith that I can make this happen. So what I did was I found an investor out of Detroit who is still a good friend of mine. We had a couple meetings and he's like, yeah, this is an easy, simple story. It only involves a few characters. Here's some money. Let's make it happen. I'm not going to disclose the amount of money that was sent my way for this project, but just know that it is within the thousands. Okay. So anyways, this money was sent. I put together a small little production team because if you know anything about me, I love the writing and behind the scenes part of everything, but I really don't enjoy being on set. I don't really like the production aspect of things, okay? So I usually put together a small team to handle production in those type of things, okay? So I did hire a small team, and I won't say any names because I'm not here to make anybody famous, but I'm just letting you guys know exactly what happened with the situation. Anyways, there were locations that we had to pay like $500 a day for. It was a medical location, another location. This was supposed to be the easiest project ever, okay? Like I said, not very many characters involved at all. But what happened was with this, the production team that I hired, they ended up partying with some of the actors in an Airbnb that I had to get for them because one of the locations was out of town. And I mean, there was some serious partying happening. I heard about drugs being exchanged, maybe some sexual things happening. And anyways, people came to set and nobody was prepared. Camera crew left part of the equipment at the Airbnb. Actors didn't know their lines. People were possibly hungover, drunk, and that was just a wash for a production day. Okay, and this happened a couple times. Another time, something was wrong with the camera and the memory card, so that was another day wash. Needless to say, money was wasted and wasted and wasted, and the production did not go the way that it was supposed to go. And I kept requesting footage, and I never got to see the footage. The footage was actually sent directly to the investor, which to this day, it just kills me to know that he saw this horrific footage, okay? I got a call immediately, like, Marcel, what happened? You wasted this money. There's heads chopped off in these scenes. It's blurry. The actors, there's something going on. They don't know their lines. You could tell they're not delivering them. A whole bunch of stuff, guys. So he called me. He was disappointed. He's like, Marcel, I like you. You're a cool dude. But here's the thing. I gave you this money. Your time is up. You guys did not deliver on the date that you agreed that you were going to deliver this project on. And he was on a very strict schedule because he had a lineup of films that he was putting together for Tubi, which is a streaming site, if you guys don't know about that. And this was supposed to be one of the films for that lineup. So this film did not end up being done on time. It still isn't done to this day. I actually, removed myself from this, and I'm about to tell you why in a second. But anyways, things went all bad. So where does the contract come in place in all of this? I am the only one that signed the contract between me and the investor. Okay. And there were things in that contract that I did not read, obviously, because I was so excited to get this project done. And some of the things were, if the project was not to be delivered, money was to be paid back, budget was to be paid back. If refusal of budget to be paid back, then there would be court fees that would need to be paid on his side, my side, and budget would need to be paid back. So after doing the math on this, guys, if I would have decided not to just pay the budget back and go the court route, I would have ended up paying upwards of $35,000 to $40,000 back to this guy for a project that wasn't even complete. Okay, and this is all because only my name was on that project. Even though I wasn't the one that directly caused the mess, I had to answer for the mess because my name was on that project, was on that contract. You see how this works? So you are going to absolutely want to make sure you understand contracts inside and out before signing anything. Okay? Get legal representation to look over things before you sign them. All right? And that's with film, that's with books, that's with any project that you are the representation of, okay? That you are the representative of, okay? If you are selling your projects, or if somebody is going to use your work for something and there's a contract involve a lawyer, involve some type of legal representation, okay? so that they can look that over before you put your name on it. Okay, this is highly important. You do not want to get burned the way that I have been burned and the many different situations I have found myself in over the years. Okay, one last story. I promise you, I have finally learned my lesson about these contracts. I just don't want you guys to have to experience the things that I have had to experience. And by the way, I had to work like 3 different jobs to pay that money back, that film budget back. I had my regular job, full-time job. I had to get another part-time job with Amazon, and I Ubered, okay? I was Ubering to like freaking 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, almost every night to get this budget back. And yes, I did end up getting the budget back, but again, I could have avoided all of this if I would have done a very thorough read of that contract and understood exactly everything that contract was saying, because I probably never would have went into that situation and signed that contract if I knew that only I was going to be responsible for paying that complete budget back. Okay, so last story for my first film, which is called Case 137. A company approached me. Again, I'm not saying names. You guys can do the research. I'm sure it's out there. And they were like, hey, we want to distribute your film. It's pretty dope. We saw the trailer. The story goes on and on and on, okay? So, of course, me being excited because this is a worldwide release and it's going to be on many different streaming platforms, I said for sure. And again, I just signed the contract without anybody looking at the contract. But the contract clearly states that this is a 10-year contract, okay? And there is a marketing fee of $25,000 that this film has to clear before I receive a penny of any type of money that this film makes. So for 10 years, this company has the right to say that this film has not cleared that $25,000 marketing cap, okay? And at the time, I didn't understand how any of that worked. All I knew was that my film was going to be on this platform, that platform. I was going to get all of this exposure for upcoming projects, and that's all I was concerned with. Do not fall for this, guys. Okay, have people look at your contracts. Your work means so much more than signing a bad contract and giving it away to people. I'm very serious about this. We put hours and hours into our writing, whatever you are writing, books, screenplays, children's books, whatever, anything creative that you are working on deserves so much more. Stop giving your work away. Especially to people who just plan on taking it and making hundreds and thousands of dollars off of your work and not paying you a dime. Because till this day, the most that I've ever received from that particular project is $2,000. Okay, and that was because the person that was representing me was smart enough to ask for an upfront fee. If we never would have asked for that upfront fee, I never would have saw a dime off of that film. And that film was released, I believe, in 2018. Okay? So it's crazy how all of this works, okay? So even with books, if somebody is asking you to pay money, that's a red flag. If there's anything that seems like a red flag in a contract, or if you don't understand the contract, before you sign it, get somebody to look at it, okay? Somebody who understands legal terms, somebody who understands how to read through a contract. Because when somebody gives you a contract, you have to remember that contract 9 times out of 10 is written to benefit them, okay? Not to benefit you, but to benefit them, okay? And you have to remember that. It's very important that you remember that. So, hey, I hope my messed up stories and what I've been through helps you guys. And I hope that you realize it's highly important to get legal representation, to look at contracts before you sign them, okay? Highly important, okay? You spend too much time on your work for you to just throw it away. All right. So, hey, again, this channel is all about writing, everything writing, screenplays, books, children's books, novels, everything writing. Okay. So if that's something that you are interested in, or if you know somebody who may be interested in that, hit that subscribe button, share it, and punch that bell for notifications when I release new videos. Thanks for stopping by, and I'll see you guys again soon. Until then, peace. Also, don't forget to check out my other videos on the channel. They will be up next, okay? And I'll put some links down in the description below as well. Check them out. Peace.